Hi everybody, today is Wednesday, April 7th, and yeah, this week's been pretty good. I guess a fairly recent video. We talked again about this thing of forgiveness, and it's been kind of this ongoing thing in our church, you know, just as something our pastor and our apostle have been talking about, but definitely for me personally over the last year or so, really diving into this, struggling with forgiveness. And I was writing and journaling the other day, like, I just refuse to let it ruin my life anymore. You know, I refuse to let it become this hindrance, you know, because the thing that I didn't consider about unforgiveness is that it's sin, and it separates me from God. And then it separates me from my other friends, right? So I could be thinking, and I think I mentioned this before, but I could be thinking, well, I'm just still hurt about something that this person did or this situation over here. But really, it's making me a worse friend to everybody. You know, it's making me impatient or not willing to endure. It makes my heart harden towards people, and I don't want to do that, right? Because if I can struggle not to forgive this person, I could struggle not to forgive anybody. So I just refuse to let that ruin my life anymore. It's just a waste of time, you know, and the people you don't forgive they're just off doing whatever, right? And I'm over here upset about it. Someone got news that they weren't expecting or weren't looking forward to. And I said, and it was funny, I was like, you know what? When we get a no, that means God has something better for us. And that's the thing, like, I have to really make sure I believe that, like, deep down, because there are some no's I've gotten. And I'm like, all right, God, help me be okay with it. Anyway, we've been working through just heart issues, like making sure we don't holding onto offenses or withholding our love from somebody because we're upset about something or our perception of something. And I had to really look at how I perceive people and interactions and relationships. And I think I mentioned before, like last year, it was a challenging year for friendships for me, and I lost. Not by death, but just relation-wise. I lost two people that I would have said are like closest to me. And I will say one relationship has been repaired, and I'm grateful for it. And the other one is just kind of not. But yeah, it caused me, that whole situation definitely caused me to evaluate me as a friend, and then also just like how I am in friendship, and then also the kind of friends I have, like just my relationships in general. And for believers, our connection has to first and foremost be about God. And I'm so grateful for our pastor and apostle, because they are adamant and faithful to that. Like, as long as you're walking in obedience to God, we're good. But you step out of alignment with God, I still love you, but I'm gonna be clear about what's going on. Like, I'm not gonna co-sign. I remember years ago, I had this apartment, loved it, and then the landlord decided to renovate the apartment, which meant everybody had to leave. So essentially, we had I don't know how long they gave us, but they were like, you gotta go. And I didn't have any family out here, and I didn't have a whole lot of money. And so I didn't know what to do. I remember being very stressed at that time. And I remember I was planning to move to the same city that my boyfriend and his family were in. And they were, in my mind, I'm like, they're so nice. They're going to let me stay with them, my boyfriend's parents. And I thought it was great. I was like, this is a great, in-between transition. And I remember I went to go meet my pastor and tell him, like, hey, just so you know, I'm moving, because it was like an hour and a half away from where my boyfriend's family lived to where I lived, and then even further from where I lived to where our church community was. And so I told him, I went to go tell him, and I remember him saying, like, he didn't try and talk me out of it. He was really gracious in that conversation, and he was like, we would definitely miss you. Afterwards, I remember some of the women reached out to me. Some of the women from our church reached out to me, and they were like, listen, we heard that you're thinking about doing this, and we really just think it's a terrible idea. And they were right. Like, in the natural mind, it sounded like legit. You know, I'm going to move. I can save some money. I can be closer to them. Like, they have a church out there that I was already visiting sometimes. And so, like, I was going to be around a family, even if it wasn't my family. And I loved them. I thought this was like, duh, obviously do this. And I remember sitting in a car for a couple hours. My friend's trying to talk me out of, like, sis, don't do this. There's a better way. And I'm like, oh, you don't, what's my other option? I don't have anywhere else to go. Like, and I remember sitting there like, this is crazy. These people are trying to get me to stay here. and I found out that it was because our pastor had asked some of the women to talk to me, the women that I had a relationship with. And I don't remember, like, all that went down. I don't remember if I left that conversation thinking, like, okay, they convinced me. But soon after that, I did decide not to move with my boyfriend's family. And I ended up moving around a lot that year. And it was tiring. And it was stressful. And it was expensive. And it was tiring. It was a lot. But I'm so grateful. I'm grateful that there were people who were like, listen, sis, this is a wrong choice, you know? And I appreciate people like that. I saw a post from, I think it was Jackie Hill Perry's Twitter today. And she was saying, like, if I can't tell you the truth, like, we can be cool, but we can't be friends. And I think that's such a major thing for me, because even if it takes me a little bit of time, I'm gonna think about what you said. There's somebody in my life who, at one point, somebody else who I was really close to, they were like, I would be careful about how much time you spend with this person. And in my mind, I'm like, what is the issue? Like, we're cool. Like, this is the homie. But I took them seriously. Even if I didn't agree, I would evaluate what they said, you know? And, yeah, I think it's my job to work on being receptive to truth, no matter how it's delivered. But I am grateful for those who are willing to deliver truth. Relationships are a big deal, you know? Like, the people you choose to surround yourself with, the people that you do life with, they matter. And, you know, I've shared before many a time just how much I value those who I do life with, and how I aim to show that consistently in life, not just saying on YouTube, but looking for different ways to implement that love and care and appreciation, and to make sure I'm not being a lazy friend or passive, or just, I mean, lazy is probably the best word. So yeah, these are the things that are on my mind today. I also, I have to edit the video right before this one will be the one where I do the unboxing for the HobbyLobby stuff. So I'll need to work on that, because as you can see, there's still nothing on these walls. I think, can you see, actually I've done a little more. And a little over here, I did clean up a little bit. You can still see boxes and things, but I'm working on it. And I'm excited. So tomorrow I think I'm going to lay everything out from the HobbyLobby haul and see where I'm going to place stuff. My idea is to have it all on this wall here. You can see it's a decent size space, but I was also thinking I might put this picture of London on the wall, put up a little higher, because then I could make more use of that space of that wall. But I don't know. I've never done a gallery wall before. I don't know what I'm doing, people. I don't know what I'm doing. So we'll have to figure this out. But my plan is tomorrow to lay everything out, get an idea of visually how it's going to look, and the best way to do it. Yes, the other thing I did today is I got an EIN number for a business that I'm starting, and I'm really excited. But also, like, there's just a lot cooking. There's a lot cooking, and I'm excited, but also I'm like, what am I doing? What are we doing here, people? This is a whole different life. And yeah, I'm excited. There's a lot to be excited about. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for y'all for coming along on this journey. Thank you for watching. Pray for your girl. If you think of it, pray for this channel. I do want it to be an effective means of outreach and encouragement for the saints, and also just insight for those who aren't believers yet, but who maybe have a misconstrued view of Christianity. I know there's a lot of misconceptions out there, so in whatever way I can bring some clarity or illumination, I would love to, because Jesus Christ is the best part of my life. When everything else is going well, and when everything else is going, he remains the same. And I would not wish life without God on anybody. On my worst, I don't think I have enemies, but on anybody. And so yeah, if I can help dispel some of the myths or shine light on the beautiful reality of what it is to be a Christian, then I would love to do that. And I want, people to know God is just, literally the best part of my life. When everything else seems to be crazy, he is stability. He is shelter in a storm. And as much as the people I love and that love me are great, no one else can do that. No one else can always be exactly the same. There's no one like God. There just isn't, So yeah, there's that. Thank you for watching. This is like my third close. You may not get that. Some people get it. You know what I'm talking about. Alright, you guys. Have a good night.